So just before we come to some of those issues you've just touched on, take a wild stab at what you think the post-liberal global order might look like for the West. You and I are Westerners. What might it look like for us? At its best, at its worst?
De minimis, as the lawyers say. They'll have to reintegrate some aspects of Christian ideas, at least into the society. And maybe they don't have to be explicitly Christian, but just you have to be able to explain to people why you're better off having a family, for example. It's hard to have a family. You can see mounds of evidence now that when you have a consumerist society, a lot of people just say, I don't want to have a family. I can go to work, I can buy widgets, I can go on holiday to Bali and so on. I don't want to have a family. So clearly you have to be able to explain to people, no, you have to reproduce your civilization, you have to reproduce it in a certain way. Basic aspects of morality, don't cheat, don't steal, all these kind of things. So that's at a minimum. I'm slightly skeptical if you can do that without religious revival, to be honest. There just doesn't seem to be much evidence of it. And morality in the West has been much more tied up with religion than morality, for example, again, in China, in the Confucian system, or in the Hindu culture, or anything like that. Well, obviously they embody their ethics more so in the state, actually. That's how it kind of works. The legal system overlaps with the ethical system. We have more of a kind of a personalized ethics system. And I don't think there's any alternative to that in the West, even if we wanted to, which we probably don't. So I think probably we're going to have, at the very least, we're going to have a rejuvenation of the cultural aspects of Christianity. And so basically what's happening at ARC, I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but those ideas need to be renormalized, like they were, and the average person in 1955 would have thought, or the average person in Britain in 1865 would have thought. I mean, these people shared an awful lot in common. Does that mean a reversion to a kind of a medieval style Catholic faith in Europe or something like that? I don't know. Anything could happen. But I think at a minimum, we can tell now what works and what doesn't. And at a minimum, we'll probably need to return to that.